Okay. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Alright, I don't know why, but it is very cold right now. I have never felt this cold in a few months. It is day 158. Um, Obviously, once again, a lot to display, a lot to talk about. We've done a lot of work today, I would say. It is currently 1 a.m. and I started doing work around, I don't even know. Let me check. It would be probably here. I can see a canvas information. Never mind. No, it would probably be here. Sorry. I just want to know, gauge the just how long I started. Oh, I started at approximately 4. So 7 hours of on and off work. Probably about 6 hours of deep work. I ate dinner, so that doesn't count. But 6 hours of pretty solid work. So before on the last episode we left off, I'm still going through with the idea of designing a collection. I'm probably just gonna do a few pieces, maybe 3 or 4, because to be honest, I haven't. There's not really a correlation as to what the pieces are, but they are just pieces that I'm working on that I have ideas for that I think I could, really produce and that I have a vision of. Um, So you've seen the beanie. We are working on some sweatshorts right now. So I've currently made 3 new mock-ups. First, we have some sweatshorts. These are currently unfinished. This is literally just the plain design. Don't know if you can see, but I've detailed it and everything, colored all that. You can really see that. It's actually crazy. You can actually see the texture. Oh, you see it right there? You can actually see like all the textures and fibers, and it looks pretty realistic. But yeah, that is just our switch short design. um, I've measured it out by the centimeter, just comparing it to another piece that I actually have in real life in my closet that I use for reference, because I want it to be quite literally the same size and same length, because I love the way that piece I have fits. So yeah, want to replicate it. Different material. I want it to be a heavyweight material for sure. It will probably have some sort of vintage wash coming down from the bottom, like a bit of a gradient. And obviously some symbols. Okay, before we get on to the other 2 pieces that I actually finished designing. So yeah, total we did about 3 pieces today, and we also produced a actual logo. I don't know if I said it in the last video, but in my notebook here, one of the to-dos was to produce a favicon logo, which is basically just a little emblem. That is a photo that kind of represents your image. Um, and yeah, we have done that. So I went through a lot of iterations, a lot of iterations. Oh, let me see if I can actually show you my iterations. Because this brand is pretty open, pretty quite the open book, which is cool to see. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so this was a first iteration here. We started off here. The idea behind it is Confucius, right? This is the obviously famous philosopher Confucius. And I think it kind of represents my brand in a very non-serious but cliche way. He's literally wearing earphones. I wouldn't say he's on some nonchalant shit. I edited this. I basically took a statue. I found a photo of a statue of Confucius, and I played around a bit in Canva and tweak some settings on in Procreate as well to produce this half tone sort of effect, semitone, whatever you want to call it, effect where he's yeah, I just like the look of it, to be honest. And then I saw this took some inspiration where I just like the idea of him wearing earphones, which kind of blends together, the philosophical aspect of it and modernism, in the way he has, he's listening to music. Also, there's also some other motifs there, listening to music. It's nice and peaceful. Sometimes, people use music as a coping mechanism sometimes to just get away from the noise, and distract themselves from, whatever's going on in their lives. And this kind of, I feel like this is a representation of, or this idea that I've had, that I have with the logo, just represents, everything that I want my brand to represent, or it, it's a little weird. I know you could say that, but I think it's kind of cool because it's super unserious, and that's kind of the idea of my brand. It's not really that that deep, you know. It's still a modern streetwear esque type of brand. And yeah, so I had a that was my first iteration, ideation, whatever you want to call it, concept. Was Confucius, and then I switched over to I started leaning in towards Buddha because Buddha is quite literally the icon, the symbol of peace. So once again, same process. Found a statue of Buddha, played around with the things. This is the one I ended up at, and I think it looks pretty fucking solid. Um, but that is basically the kind of baseline ideation concept. I went into Procreate and I started playing around with more settings. Okay, let's turn the camera back on. Thank you. Um, Here we have a bit of a, oh, it's looking the same, but if you can't tell, there's a bit of grain noise filter on it where it looks a lot more grainy. Um, and then I started just kind of making some whatever that is. You can see the at piece logo there. Oh, I can flip it around. You can see the at piece logo there. So originally, this is actually also what I'm going to be using for my social media profile pictures as well. Um, that's or initially that's the plan really. I want to have those as my profile pictures for probably Instagram and TikTok, or I actually think I'm gonna do one of them have that. Probably the TikTok one will have the Buddha, and the Instagram will just have the normal iconic. I don't know if it's iconic, but just the normal app piece, because I feel like Instagram with the minimalistic look just feels nicer of a profile. So yeah, I did a bunch of, not really a bunch, but I just thought about where I could kind of had the app piece logo positioned. So before it was in the middle, and now I kind of put off to the side. But seeing it now, I don't really like it from the side. So yeah. But then I also then realized I don't really like this gray gradient noise noisy grain because um it looks too loud and it just doesn't feel right. So I went back into the drawing board, and then I ended up coming back to a more pale duotone kind of Buddha here, where it's literally just two colors. I don't know how, I forgot how I achieved this. I think I grayscaled it first, then I applied the half tone, um, and then I applied something else. I forgot, and then what it was, but then turn up the sharpness, turn up the noise, and then yeah, you gotta get lift with that. I think this one is absolutely beautiful. Like, it's great. And yeah, also stuck with the at piece logo at the bottom here. But yeah, I really like that. Honestly, I'm very proud of that logo. I don't know, it's such a simple logo. Some could say it makes absolutely no sense. And it might even be cultural appropriation, but I like it. So onwards and upwards, you know what they say. Yeah. So don't know if I showed you guys this yesterday. But I don't know. I feel like the I've improved actually a lot in the last 2 days of designing mockups. Like this was quite literally the first mockup I had for the brand at peace on a fucking cropped little shirt. I thought it was tough. Well, actually, it was very, very unfinished. It's just because I kind of stopped it there because I actually had no idea what I wanted to do with that. I had absolutely no direction of where I wanted to go with that. So I just kind of put that to the side. Also, kind of same applies to this piece right here. Add an at piece, kind of um like just kind of screen printed on the top there. That kind of overlaps the sleeve, so it literally quite literally covers the whole sleeve. Also, once again, had no idea where I wanted to go with that. I just kind of, took some inspo and saw that. I was like, yo, I want to try to replicate that. But yeah, maybe we'll come back to that. Um, yeah, I also don't think I showed you guys this. Don't think I showed you guys this too. This is the another mock-up for the sweat shorts. So this sweat shorts V1 there. Also, did not know where I wanted to go with that. But then took some more time and we ended up with that there. You think it probably looks no different. And low key, it's not much different, but at least I got that mock-up finished, which I can start designing soon. I have a few ideas for that one. It's just, yeah, not really sure which direction I want to actually lean towards. Um, and then now the first finished mock-up design, which is a hoodie, zip-up hoodie. Boom. Um, I don't know if the camera does it justice, but I don't know. Mixed opinions about this one. I think it looks good. I don't know. It's not, my best. It's not my magnum opus, I'd say, but it is my first finished mock-up that I spent a lot of time on, so I'm pretty proud of it. Just for my first time. Don't know what it's going to be called, but the idea of it is at first. Oh, okay, yeah. So we talk about iterations. First, it was I had an idea, right, for a like a imagine like a Indian sunset in the rivers where the sun is very orange and there's a bunch of gray murky clouds around it. And my original idea was a crane design, like a literal bird. The cranes symbolize, especially the origami cranes, they symbolize peace and connection and unity with one another in a community. Something about that, the gist of origami cranes. You build 1,000 of them when someone's dying or some shit. But then, honestly, visually, it didn't look very nice. So we came back to, um, you know, the universal symbol of peace, or at least for Asia, the yin and yang. Once again, I played off the idea with the sleeve where it's kind of printed directly onto the sleeve, overlapping it. But this one's kind of quite big. You imagine that it's literally on top of the sleeve and on top of the the actual front. We got a bit of we got a cherry blossom print here. Um, I don't know how that works, that it's covering the pockets, but it should be fine. I don't know. I don't know how that actually works. Got some Japanese lettering. Don't ask me what that says. I have no fucking idea. And then for the sides here, it was a bit of a filler. It looked kind of empty. I didn't really know what to put. But I realized that this is, you know, um, it kind of makes sense in terms of the streetwear-esque-ness of it. So the sides here have a bit of a cursive font that is also once again printed around the sleeves. It says "Beyond Duality" because we can go on all about that, what that means. Um, and yeah, just duality of the yin and yang, two forms of balance. We have transcended that. We are beyond merely coexisting as two beings. We are more than that. That is true enlightenment. That is being truly at peace. Oh my god, absolute cinema. And I like that I've managed to. Oh, I flipped it over again, but it doesn't matter. I like that I've managed to incorporate the actual logo into the hoodie now, and that's something I feel like I want to do for a lot of future pieces, where I'm. It could be subtle, I could have like a embroidery on the back butt pocket of the jeans if I ever do. I think I actually will do that. I like the idea of embroidering a logo somewhere into a piece. Um, but yeah, that's our first hoodie. Um, cannot I don't know, this is once again just our first tests, experiments of, our designs. We got to make something. Um, yeah, but that's a nice hoodie that I like. I'm very proud of. Obviously, I don't know if it'll be a final piece. Probably not. We are too early in the stages to be developing anything remotely final. But it's good that, my designs are just getting better and better. Okay, but our next and last piece of the day. So, I don't know, two fully designed mockups in a day, I would say is a win for me. But yeah, our next piece is quite simple. Once again, a streetwear brand. Think about it. It doesn't have to be too technical or detailed. And that's proven time and time again with a bunch of brands that I've seen where people will literally just slap one emblem on a hoodie and call it a day and they work. Obviously, you can do that if you want to blend in, but if you want to differentiate yourself, it comes with not just crazy visual, but also intention and message, a strong message behind the pieces you're designing. So this here is a um, low key. It's either just a thermal. I mean, it's either a thermal or it's just a normal long sleeve. I think I kind of messed it up here when I added this. Oh shit! Can you see? There it is. When I added this bit of a see this weird texture to it. That just is texture for the fabric, not actually the materials of the piece. Initially it was a waffle thermal material, but I think we're gonna diverge more into a long sleeve just because it's texture, because I don't think you can achieve that sort of design onto thermals, or maybe you can. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe you can. If that's the case, maybe this could still be a thermal. But also added a. Let me flip this again. I added a bit of a texture on the at piece logo. Initially, I just slapped it on there, and I was like, this looks too bland. So I textured it up a bit so that kind of, um, fits and it makes sense coherently with the other, the whole style of the cloth, the garment. And then the main highlight, which is the I don't know if you can recognize that, but the three I don't know what they're called, but we have speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. The classic trio. Initially they're monkeys, as you see in Apple emojis, but these ones are Buddhas, which is obviously following the same idea. Makes sense as well. And then I see that I like this little idea here of just having this little patch in the side. The red kind of makes a nice little visual offset, I guess. It's kind of catches your eye, like, what is this little red thing at the bottom? It's literally it'll probably just be a little tag, a little tag that just gets printed on, or it could even be screen printed. I don't know. But it would probably just say the three labels, what I just said before: hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, and put the logo down there. Yeah. So once again, this is just a normal piece. Low key, the thing that takes the longest is actually making the mock up. Mind you, I'm literally making the entire thing from scratch. Like, I'm drawing the outlines. I'm even adding in the little stitch lines. I'm shading it in. I'm texturizing it. Yeah, it takes a freaking decent time to do that. Like, probably 30-40 minutes. But yo, the fact that I'm able to work 6 hours, practically, in one sitting, is honestly impressive to me. Then that shows once again, just how far passion takes you. Like, I'm honestly having so much fucking fun right now. Like, everything I do is enjoyable because it's so curated to my own likings. Everything I'm doing, I get to just do it how I would do it. And that's so fucking fun, bro. Yeah, I'm very very happy with this piece. Even though it's so simplistic and people are like, yo, that's so boring or lame. This is genuinely something I would wear. Like, if I bought this, like, if I saw this, I buy it. That's just me. But I guess that's the point. Yo, I'm super super happy with that piece. I love the graphic there. We got more to come as well. Also, coincidentally, I looked in my notebook, right, and there was one page that included both those pieces that I originally drawn up a concept for. Literally both the long sleeve and the hoodie. Literally right here. You can see I have the hoodie here. Has the yin and yang, very, very rough sketches. Even has the flowers. Jason Che knew what he wanted from the very beginning. And there it is again, the long sleeve. These are meant to be, the graphic, but it's little blobs. I can't draw that. And that piece right there. But yeah, safe to say, I've managed to successfully execute my ideas, which are great. Um, I wouldn't say these are perfected, but then again, these are to the best of my ability. So I guess that is a absolute win in my book. So yo, that is it for today. We are slowly but surely expanding on our collection, and I can't wait to see how far we go. Um, if we're looking at like a timeline, mockups and tech packs, give me a few months, bro. It'll take a while, just because mockups. I'm probably just gonna keep making pieces, mockups, and then kind of just trying to perfect them. I definitely think that this could be a final piece for sure. I really, really like that piece. Like just the simplicity of it, and I can literally picture like models wearing it. Like in terms of marketing, like I can literally picture people who would wear it for a modeling shoot. Like that is beautiful. Can't say the same for this one, even though, you know, it's nicely designed. Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, that one, the long sleeve is definitely my favorite piece right now, and I'm so excited to be able to produce more and see what else I can conjure up. But yeah, this will probably take a long time. It costs a lot of money as well to kind of produce these, manufacturing and all that, and marketing, and it takes a while. So, you know, but the time will pass anyway. So this is day 158. I'll see y'all boys tomorrow. Peace.